because this book now has me in the palm of its hand. If it had a hand. You know what I mean? Hello guys, and welcome to a new reading vlog. This one is a fun one because I've been waiting for this one all month. I am so excited to finally do a romance reading vlog. I've been wanting to do one of these for a really long time. I'm not sure if I did one last year. I want to say I did, but I'm not sure. So I am looking forward to this one. I have a lot of options, so I am going to show you guys some of the options I have for this reading vlog. I did start the vlog already, so I already started reading one of them. But since I'm doing the intro right now, we're going to pretend that I still haven't decided which book I'm going to read, and then I'll tell you which book I'm reading. Does that make sense? Anyways, so I have a lot of romance books that I want to get to, and I just haven't had the chance to. So I thought this was a great opportunity for me to read those romance books that I already have, that I want to get to. However, I decided to go to Barnes & Noble because there was a book that I don't have, but I am interested in reading. That is one of the options. So I will go through that. And I ended up getting two books. So the book that I thought I was not gonna read this book just because I'm not into Star Wars, and I believe this is like a Star Wars fan fiction, something like that. So I was never interested in it because I was like, I'm not gonna get it. But I actually think it's best for me to not be able to relate Star Wars to this book, and I might enjoy it even more. So that is The Love Hypothesis by Ellie Hazelwood. I've heard great things about it, so I hope I also enjoy it. I'm looking forward to it. I'm not gonna lie. I think I read the synopsis and it sounds amazing. Then the next book I also picked is Highly Suspicious and Unfairly Cute by Talia Hibbert. I read the Brown Sisters a few years ago and I really enjoyed them. I think this is her young adult debut, so I'm looking forward to it. I think I'm gonna enjoy it. It's fairly short, so I might get to this one as well. Other options I have is, this one is an experiment, okay? I am not sure if I'm gonna like it. I've wanted to read this book just because I want to see why people love it so much, but I know there's mixed reviews and some people hate it, some people love it. I want to see my thoughts on it, and I thought I was never gonna read it, but you know what? TikTok, the hype, everything. So that is It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. I'm going into this with an open mind. I have low expectations for it and everything, but I'm hoping to like it. Like, I'm not hoping to hate it. I'm hoping to like the story. I'm hoping to like the characters. I don't know. Like, I want to like this book, but I also know that there's a high chance that I won't, so we'll see. I also have Ice Planet Barbarians, and if you have heard about this book, you've heard about this book. I mean, I think this is a great week for me to try this one out. Again, I have low expectations for it, but then again, I'm hoping to enjoy it. Another option I have is Emily Henry's Book Lovers. I tried to read this one already, and I had to put it down because I was not enjoying it. So maybe reading romance right now will, you know, help with that, but I want to give it another try. I also want to read You Deserve Each Other. I think this is somehow like, if you like The Hating Game, you like this book. I've had this one for a while, so I want to get to it. It's another option. And then another one that I really want to get to is Love in the Times of Serial Killers, and by Elisa Thompson. I love this cover. I bought this book just because of the cover and the title. That's it. But I want to read it. I read the synopsis. It sounds amazing. So this one is a book that I want to read this week for sure. Those are my options. I have a lot of options. I just have to get through them. And since I already started this vlog, let's just continue with that. Good morning, guys. It is Sunday. I hope that future me already made the intro to this vlog. So let's just get started. I have been looking forward to this whole week because I was reading Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo, and that just put me in the worst reading slump. I thought it was not going to do that to me. I thought I was going to enjoy the book, but I didn't. So I ended up, I don't think I've read for the last 3 weeks or something, but I just know that my romance books are gonna bring me back into the reading mood. I'm gonna read so many of them and it's gonna be a great time. I was gonna start this yesterday on Saturday and I was gonna read the whole day, but things happen, you know? Life gets busy and I ended up not doing the chores I was supposed to do yesterday, so we're gonna do them today. Today was just gonna be a rest day. Today was gonna be a reading day. You know, it was gonna be just me and my books. But no, I have to catch up on laundry. I am doing so many loads of laundry and I'm also planning to like tidy up the whole apartment. So I'm expecting to be done until like 11 or 12. It is 8:24 right now. So I do want to sit down and read, but because I have to do a lot of chores, I need an audiobook. So I'm gonna start with that. It took me a while. You guys saw the options I have. It took me a while to choose which audiobook I'm gonna read because most of these books I want to sit down and read physically, but I need an audiobook. So I decided to sacrifice Miss Colleen Hoover. It Ends With Us. As you guys know, I want to read this as an experiment. I just want to see what it is about. I know they're making the movie and they announced who's gonna be playing the characters, so I think it's gonna be a good time for me to read it because I can picture the characters already and it's gonna be lots of fun. I actually started this book a while back and I'm on page 40. I'm on chapter 3, so I'm just gonna pick it up from there. So the one thing that I do find odd in this story already is that the way that we go back in time is through the letters that our main characters sent or just wrote to Ellen DeGeneres, and that's how she was communicating to this to Ellen. Like, I don't know. So it's kind of weird, but okay. We're just gonna roll with it. I don't know what year this was published in, so maybe Ellen was like at the top of her game back then. I have low expectations for this book, so I'm going into it with an open mind. We'll see what happens. It is a 6-hour audiobook, so I'm pretty sure I can read this. Like, I'll listen to it while I'm doing chores and we might be able to finish it today. I am looking forward to this because I'm hoping to like it. Like, I'm not hoping to hate it. I'm not hoping to DNF it. I'm hoping that I do like it. Open mind. I hope I like it. Listen, I know this is not the best lighting in the house, in the room, but this is the most comfortable beanbag I've ever sat on, so I am going to sit here for the next hour because I'm about to finish this book. I have a lot of thoughts with this book. It is Monday afternoon, the next day, by the way. I have a lot of thoughts about this book. I am so glad I didn't update you guys within the first 100 pages of me reading this book. I mean, I was gonna update you guys when I got to chapter 5. Chapter 5 was the worst, most horrible chapter I've read in this whole book, okay? That chapter was such a big red flag. I mean, there were other red flags before this. Definitely a lot more red flags. Since the moment these two characters met, that was a big red flag. But chapter 5 I was not having it. I thought I was not going to be able to continue reading this book. I was about to DNF this book, but I needed to give it a try. I needed to see what this book was about. I needed to see why people love it. I wanted to see why people hated it. I knew I was starting to get the point of why people hated it, but I'm glad I kept reading it because this book now has me on a chokehold, okay? I'm like, oh, why hadn't I read this book before? And I'm not saying it's a good story. And I'm not saying it's a good story. I'm not saying it's the best piece of literature. It's not that you will ever read. I am not saying it's the most beautiful writing style I've ever seen. It reads really fast. I'm not saying any of that. I'm just saying that the way that things happen in the story, it hooks you. You want to know what happens. You want to know what's going to happen. You want to know which decisions are made. And that's exactly where I'm at, okay? I am invested in these characters. I want to know what Lily does. Lily is our main character, by the way. I had heard so many things. I had heard so many things about Atlas. So now finally getting to know Atlas and getting to know who he is and the relationship and stuff like that. It's good. Okay, it's good. I do have to say before I continue with this, because I think I have like 50 pages left before I continue with this. I don't think, I'm sure we're not supposed to like Ryle. If you like Ryle, you have issues just like Lily does. You need to get help, okay? I don't know if anyone likes Ryle. There's a lot of domestic violence in this, and if you like Ryle, what? No. There's a lot of trigger warnings with this book as well, so I will talk about that. I don't think Ryle is supposed to be the character that you like. We're not supposed to be rooting for Ryle. He's not supposed to be the role model here. We are supposed to dislike Ryle. I honestly don't think that the excuse that was given about his problem, you know, I don't think that was an excuse for him to do the things he does. I don't think it matches the description of what happened and how he is. It just does. I don't know how that would work, but I mean, it could happen. I just don't think one thing led to the other. You know what I mean? I don't think I'm making sense. I don't want to spoil it, but also, like, I'm sure everyone has read this book before. I think I'm gonna talk about this once I'm done with it. Hard things have happened. I don't like the whole Ellen DeGeneres letter thingy. That it just takes me out. I really, really dislike the naked truths. Why can't it just be a truth? Like, why can't they just say, tell me the truth? Why does it have to be naked truth? There's so, like, it's mentioned so many times that it just takes me out. Like, naked truth. You could have told me a naked truth. Just leave it at truth. I don't know. I have 50 pages of this. I don't know what's gonna happen. I haven't cried yet. Hard things have happened. I have been shocked. There's a lot of twists in this book. And I don't know what's gonna happen in the next 50 pages, so I'm gonna find out. I have about an hour before my husband gets back from work, so I'm just gonna sit here. I'm gonna finish this within like 20 minutes, and then I'll talk more about it. This is a long rant, so I don't know how much I'm gonna keep of this. So I'm about to finish this book. I haven't cried yet, but give me 20 minutes and I'll be back. See what happens. This might be a spoiler, but I am so disappointed right now because I lost hope on Atlas already. I don't think he's meant to be. This might be a spoiler. I don't think Atlas is supposed to be the romance or like the end goal here. I'm confused as even though I'm rooting for Atlas and I would love to see them together, I don't think that's gonna happen. I have about 20 pages left and I'm so disappointed right now because I just feel like Lily doesn't get it and she still wants to make things work, but she knows, like, she's aware that she shouldn't. But I'm so disappointed because I feel like it's gonna, like, you know, like, it's gonna happen and she's gonna forgive. I don't know. Like, if that happens, I'm gonna throw the book across the room. Just letting you guys know. I don't even want to read this anymore, but so disappointing. Happy Valentine's Day. It is February 14th today. It is a Tuesday, so I had to work. I just wanted to come here before I head out to the gym to let you guys know that I did finish It Ends With Us last night. I thought about what I wanted to say, and I did enjoy this. It is a really fast-paced book. Like, you could read it in one sitting if you can, if you want to. It hooks you and you just want to know what happens. I do want to say that the feeling that this book made me feel was anger and disappointment, and a lot of that. I did not cry. I don't understand why a lot of people cry with this book. I mean, I can, because it is a domestic violence is a difficult topic to deal with. So if anyone has experienced that or something like that, I can see why it would affect them in that way. But I just hope that whoever is reading this book knows that Ryle is not supposed to be romanticized. Ryle is not supposed to be the man that you want to change, because he's not going to change. I hope that whoever is reading this book is not hoping that he will change and he will be the good husband that Lily deserves, or that they think they deserve, or that they think they can change someone, because it's not that easy. It's not how it happens. It is a very difficult topic, so I just hope that no one is romanticizing Ryle. Since the beginning, he was a big red flag, and that is something that I do want to talk about, because it is explained as to why Ryle acts like that, why he has these moments of when he blacks out and he's not himself. And I don't think, listen, I'm not saying that it can't happen. I just didn't get the feeling that that's the thing that triggered. If you have read this book, you know. If you haven't, it is explained, but I don't think it was explained, and that's just because they didn't mention Ryle acting up like this when he was in high school or growing up. So that happened when he was 6 years old, and I would have liked to see maybe a scene or something where Alice, is that her name? When Allison, his sister, or even his mom is around a few times. So I don't know, something that's like maybe a scene that talks about how he has been struggling with this growing up, maybe an incident that happened at home or with other relationships that he had. I don't know, like, we know since the beginning that Ryle doesn't want to have like a relationship with someone, especially not with Lily. He just prefers like a one night stand, something like that at the beginning, like right at the beginning. I would have liked to see something like that explains that it has happened before, but from this story only, it seems like he has only been aggressive towards Lily, and I don't know if that was true. I don't know if it had happened before. Maybe just a scene with Allison or his mom or something. That's it. Otherwise, I don't know. It just felt like he was just being aggressive towards Lily. And the reason why it doesn't make sense to me is because at the beginning, he was very possessive, very toxic, very pushy, especially on chapter 5. I think I talked to you guys about chapter 5. That whole thing, that whole scene, I hope no one finds that romantic. I don't know why Lily found that appealing or, you know, romantic. I don't know. I honestly don't know. That was just creepy, and the whole begging and the you won't see, just please do this for me, you won't see me ever again. No. But again, it was a good story, especially after reading the author's note at the end. We know that this is very close to home for her. Both characters were inspired by her own mother's situation and her own dad's situation, like what happened to them. If you didn't know, you know now. She explains it in the back with the author's note, and that's sad. It was sad to hear that actually happened to her mom. And yeah, domestic violence is something, it's not to be romanticized, and it's a cycle that needs to end. And that's the whole point about this book, to show that not everyone's story is the same, obviously, but the cycle should end and you can't end the cycle like that. I really enjoyed the epilogue because that just gives us hope, and we kind of knew that Atlas was gonna stick around. I was hoping. I thought I wasn't gonna see any of that anymore, but I am glad that we did. The question that I now have is, should I read It Starts With Us? Because I've heard that that book was just written because of the fans. It was kind of like, I don't think she was planning on writing another story like this, or like a prequel sequel to this book, but because there was so much pressure, she did. Again, I might be wrong, I don't know, but yes, I am looking forward. I do want to watch the movie. My husband thinks I shouldn't, but I do. I want to watch it. And one last thing I have to say about this book gave me major 50 Shades of Grey feeling vibes, as well as Twilight vibes. Like, the relationship between Lily, Ryle, and Allison, his sister, just reminded me of Bella, Edward, and Alice. Like, tell me you did not get those vibes, because I did. Especially like in New Moon situation. Those are the vibes that I got. And the whole rich, possessive, aggressive vibe, I got that from 50 Shades of Grey, from like the main character. I didn't read the books. I think I watched 2 of the movies of 50 Shades of Grey. So that's what I'm saying. I got those vibes. I don't know. Let me know if you did. I'm losing light and my camera's about to die. So that is basically what I wanted to say about this book. I don't think it's a book that you need to read. You're not missing out on anything. The way that people sob about this book, I want to know why. If they were sobbing, if this book makes them sob because of what happens to Lily, like, you know, when she goes through all of that, I get it. But if you are sobbing because she ended up not staying with Ryle, or because Ryle didn't change, or whatever it is, you need help, stop it, don't, okay? And I also didn't like the whole Ellen DeGeneres letters things. Like, why couldn't it just be a normal journal? And the naked truth, why couldn't it just be a truth? Anyways, I'll see you guys in a bit. I am reading another book, but I don't have it here with me, and my camera is about to die. I'll just talk to you guys later when I come back from the gym. Alright guys, I haven't updated you at all on my reading, but that's because I've just been enjoying this book so much. Since the moment I picked it up, I knew I was gonna like it. I read the first chapter, like the beginning of it, and I knew I was gonna like it. I am reading The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood, and I am so in love with this book. I can't believe I was not gonna read it. It is so good. You guys, if you guys could see the way this book is making me smile and scream, and just, I can't remember the last time I had a crush on one of the characters, but Adam, listen, this book is so good. I thought it was gonna be like a professor-student situation, but it's not. It's just he's a professor and she's a student, but they have no relationship. I am on page 230. I have about 100 pages left, and it's sad because I love this book so much. I think this is like high up with The Hating Game. I still have 100 pages to go, so a lot can happen in that time. I'm just gonna hope for the best, and you know, hopefully things work out. It is so annoying because we have the fake dating situation going on trope, as well as the we don't know how to communicate with each other, and that's okay, you know. We're living through it, we're learning through it. And Olive, the amount of times I've screamed at Olive because I know Adam. I wish we had Adam's perspective. I want to see how he's falling for her, because I know that I'm sure Adam was interested since the beginning, since they first met that one time, and I know he remembers. I know he does. And I want to see his perspective. I want to hear from him. But everything's from her perspective. We're seeing how she's feeling. Everything that he says is from her point of view. But the way that it's written, we know how he feels. Every time he says something, we know how he feels. And I love that about this. It is so, so good. Olive is like, I'm like, girl, get it together. I've screamed at her. Pinche Olive. She's making me scream at her. But I love it. I can't believe I was thinking about not reading this book. And now I regret not reading it sooner. But I'm going to continue reading this. And I know I had a lot of options to read more books, but due to the fact that these 2 books took the whole week for me to read, I'm just going to leave it at that. This is the last book I'm going to be reading. I don't know if I'm going to pick up another one. I'll let you guys know, because I do want to upload this video soon, because I skipped last week. So I'll let you guys know. I'm gonna continue reading this, and I'm hoping to finish it tonight. Again, not the best lighting here, but I'm going to read the rest of the book. I thought I had less pages to go, but I still have like 140 pages to go. It's good. We're good, because I still need a lot to happen. I skipped the gym, yes, to read this, but I'm also not feeling well. I have a cough, and I don't feel sick or anything. It's just a cough, and it's annoying. I wish I didn't have this cough, but you know what? We're just gonna relax today, read this book, because we are in a very good place, and I hope all the lying stops. Olive is such a liar. I'm sad to finish it, but I also want to know what happens. So it's so good. It's so good. And oh my god, I did not see the villain coming. I did not see it coming. I thought there was gonna be something different from what happened. That was a plot twist, not what I was expecting. If you guys haven't read this, don't make the same mistake I made, okay? Let's read it. Alright, let's do this. I actually don't know what was the last update I gave you guys. I know the last book that I was reading was The Love Hypothesis, but I'm not sure if I updated you guys when I finished it. I want to say I didn't, and I didn't look before this. So basically, this blog was supposed to go up last weekend, which was the weekend of like Valentine's Day week. I got really sick, and then I had a bachelorette party that weekend, and turns out that I was not doing better as I thought. So this whole week I've been struggling. You guys might hear it in my voice. I've been coughing a lot, so I actually don't remember where I left off. I did finish this book, and 5 stars. I'm giving it 5 stars. It was so good, and I loved everything about it. I loved both characters. At some point I was very frustrated with the main character Olive, because there was a lot. If you guys don't like the miscommunication trope, you guys are not gonna like this book, because that's pretty much what goes on in this book. There's a saying like miente hasta por los codos, like she tells lies from her elbows. Like the way this woman can lie, it's amazing. If she had just told one truth since the beginning, none of this would happen. Basically, a lot of miscommunication from both characters, actually. It's just the fact that she lies more and he just doesn't say the truth. Like, she lies. And Adam he just doesn't say things. How many chilies for spice am I giving this? 5 out of 5. Like, this was spicy, and we love it. This is now just next to The Hating Game because I want to reread this book, and I know I will. It's such a good story, and it was so easy to read. I loved it. The other book I read was It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. Finally, my first Colleen Hoover book, and I am planning on reading more of her books because this was so easy to read. Again, do I recommend it? No. Like, you guys are not missing out on anything if you guys haven't read this book. It's just the fact that I hope that whoever reads this book is not romanticizing domestic violence and is not romanticizing whatever his name is. I forgot. So that's that. It's just showing you how hard it is for someone in a situation like this to get out of, and their thought process and what they hope will happen, but it doesn't. So there is hope at the end. However, if you guys are into this book because of I forgot his name. The doctor guy. Yeah, no, Ryle. No, fuck Ryle. It's funny because I've heard someone say this once, and it just stuck with me because you have more things to say about a book that you don't like versus a book that you do like. I'm not saying I hated this book. I'm just saying it's like a 2.5, 3 stars. I like what it's trying to do. I like the message that it's trying to give, especially with the author's note at the end. But did I enjoy the story? Not necessarily, because I hope no one goes through this. I don't want anyone to go through this. It's hard, and we don't like Riles, so that's that. These are the only 2 books that I read. I thought I was gonna read more from, if you guys watched the beginning. Yeah. Anyways, I did annotate both of these, and it's so funny because it's so different. Like, the annotations in this, so different. Like, chapter 5, for example, there was a lot of no's, no, 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 what the fuck, WTF. And this one was just like screaming, crying, yes, let's go, let's do this, aw, Autumn. Very, very different annotations. This was too long. I'm gonna go. I hope you guys enjoyed this vlog. I hope you guys are having a great time. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope to see you guys soon. Bye. I can't believe I was never going to read this book. We don't like Ryle on this channel, so fuck him.